Celeste is such an amazing game, crafted by such a wonderful group of people. Recently, this game celebrated its 3rd anniversary, and while nothing too special happened to commemorate the occasion, there was one minor treat given to fans. As I've stated before, this game focuses on simple, minimalistic controls that hide layers of precision behind them, and through this control scheme, Celeste is able to create levels with movement as complex as this, while still being approachable to almost anyone. Why do I mention this game's controls yet again? Well, within Celeste, there's a mode known as Pico 8, which is a replica of the game's original prototype released for the virtual game engine of the same name. This side mode consists of 30 rooms that must be completed while utilizing even simpler movements than in the main game. 2 of the game's primary developers completed this prototype within only 4 days, and I mention it because what was given to fans on Celeste's 3rd anniversary was a sequel to this classic created on the spot in only 3 days, known as Celeste 2 Lani's Trek. While only utilizing 2 keys, not including the arrows to move left and right, this terse journey may be simple, but though its appearance is underwhelming, its content is anything but. Lani's Trek, being a sequel to Celeste Classic as it's now called, naturally plays off of its predecessor's basic principle of having to reach the end of a room by jumping and dashing past obstacles, minus the dashing. Because it is a sequel after all, so not everything can be a blatant copy and paste. In this case, rather than Madeline's familiar dash present in Celeste and its devolution, Lani, our new protagonist, is gifted a grappling hook, which allows for quickly zipping across rooms, grabbing and throwing snowballs, and hooking onto and leaping off of targets. It's a simple gimmick, but Maddie Thorson is once again able to produce a level layout that utilizes and maximizes its full potential. Many rooms consist of gaining momentum by grappling a target and either precisely jumping from it before falling, or not jumping at all and grappling onto something else. Some of my favorite rooms consisted of tethering a snowball to your hands only to later use it as a safety net over a bed of spikes. Particularly icy terrain also leaves Lani's hook vulnerable to slipping off, which adds another layer to this miniature title all on its own. I'm sure an actual game designer would think much differently, but to me it's shocking that something, despite its simplicity, as perfectly crafted and playable as this, was only created over a single weekend. Sure, it's nothing too special, but considering the fact that it was made by a group of developers who are most certainly working on other major games, yet still took the time away to create it, is just really nice. From their consideration of accessibility in their games to their passion and support of speedrunners and modders, I truly adore the team of Extremely OK Games. And while I mentioned speedrunning, it's worth noting that this little title is perfect for those interested in the scene. I wouldn't consider myself a speedrunner by any means, but I did poorly run Celeste for a short period, and I must have played Lani's Trek at least 5 times on the day of its release, just in an attempt at knocking down my time as low as I could. I must say, as it's easy to pick up and very short in length, easily completable in under half an hour or so on the 2nd or 3rd playthrough, Celeste 2 is a very satisfying speed game for just about anyone who has some free time on their hands. I love everything about what is now the Celeste mini-series. The team's devotion to their fans and the games they make is very obvious and admirable, and that shows in Lani's Trek. What could have been a single tweet celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Celeste was instead an entire free-to-play sequel to the game's prototype, created by some of the developers with no incentive other than to please the fans they've garnered. Lani's Trek is certainly far from a full-fledged title, but it has the same attention to detail and level design as its big brother, and is more than worth at least a singular playthrough, if not multiple. I hope you enjoyed this shorter video. Keep in mind that I'm not only experimenting with different ideas for this type of content, but am also very busy with other things. So to those who enjoy my content, I really appreciate the support, and I'm trying my best to remain consistent. Thank you all so much for watching.